if you love a foreign group and hate your own group, is collaborate with outsiders, collaborate with people of a different group against your own group in order to obtain power over your group. And so they virtue signal while collaborating as well with a different group their way to the top. So they're essentially born traitors. There's a degree to which that's true.
Anglophobia is, as you know, is the hatred of the English, and that can be extended to British, Anglosphere, and basically white people. So my first question to you is, why do some people hate themselves? What's behind that?
I think we should certainly distinguish between people at the individual level who genuinely hate themselves, and people who hate their ethnic group or who hate their race or whatever it happens to be. I did a book recently called Woke Eugenics: How Social Justice is a Mask for Social Darwinism, in which I look in quite a lot of detail at this kind of thing. So what we should distinguish between is really two quite different kinds of human: those that are individually oriented and those that are group oriented. And we have group oriented foundations because we are a pack animal and we have to cooperate as a group and fight and battle against other groups for scarce resources. But we also, at least in prehistory, have to reach the top of the pack hierarchy, particularly if we are men, in order to pass on our genes. So there's the individually oriented moral foundations are concerned with equality, so that you as an individual get more, relatively more, and harm avoidance, so that you as an individual are not harmed. And the group oriented foundations are in-group loyalty, obedience to authority, and sanctity versus disgust, because what sanctity often involves is sacralizing that which is good for the group and tabooing that which is bad for the group. Now, conservative people are about the same in all five moral foundations or values, but liberal people are high only in the individually oriented foundations. And interestingly, when you look at the moral circle of liberal people, those whom you regard as important to you and worth making sacrifices for, or whatever, for conservatives, it's a series of concentric circles that emanate out of from self. So you love your family more than you love your kin more than your social class more than your ethnic group more than your race more than your species more, and so on and so on. With liberal people, it doesn't work like that. The moral circle is more distant from self. They are much more inclined to like another social class over their own, or another ethnic group over their own. Now, why do they? And remember, they're individualists. What group-oriented people are about obtaining power for your group, and as part of that, sacrificing perhaps your own power. In a sense, having an aspect of low self-esteem. What individually oriented people are about is getting power, resources, whatever, for themselves. And so, of course, you can see that if you care about a different ethnic group over your own ethnic group, or a different class over your own class, then what you can do, what that would incline you to do, i.e., if you love a foreign group and hate your own group, is collaborate with outsiders, collaborate with people of a different group against your own group in order to obtain power over your group. And that's what left-wing people do again and again and again. You get upper class people that identify with and care more about the working class than about their own upper class, and thus create a coalition with the working class to get power over the upper class and thus the country as a whole. So that's an aspect of leftism. Another aspect of leftism is there's personality differences. People that are group-oriented, unsurprisingly, are more pro-social. They're higher in agreeableness, they're higher in conscientiousness, they're higher in mental stability. People that are individually oriented are low in agreeableness, they are low in conscientiousness, and they are high in mental instability. Now, again, how does mental instability cross over with power? Well, being mentally unstable, i.e., feeling negative feelings strongly and perceiving the world as this dangerous, frightening place that's out to get you, makes you want power. So there is a relationship, positive relationship, between being mentally unstable and being Machiavellian, i.e., wanting to get power. And there is a relationship between being mentally unstable, of course, and narcissism, where you tell yourself that you're perfect and wonderful, and you want narcissistic supply. Power gives you narcissistic supply, so therefore you get power. So basically, left-wing people are individualists. They're individualists, but they're also mentally unstable. They're full of negative feelings, including perhaps low self-esteem on some deep level. And this means they fear a fair fight. So they don't play for status overtly, they do so covertly, rather like women do. They do so via virtue signaling. What do they virtue signal about? What are they concerned with? They're concerned with equality and harm avoidance. So they virtue signal. They identify with a group that's poorer, that's less developed, that's whatever. And they say, "Oh, I'm so concerned about this," and so they virtue signal while collaborating as well with a different group, their way to the top. So they're essentially born traitors. There's a degree to which that's true. Now, of course, I don't want to overstate the case. There are, I'm sure, genuinely people, you said suicidal empathy, people who are very, very high in empathy and agreeableness, such that it overwhelms all other considerations. And their response to, I don't know, starving children in Africa is so visceral, and it overwhelms so much else in them that they get involved in the left. There will be people like that, highly agreeable people that get involved in the left. But as a rule, that's what you're dealing with. So it is, in a sense, there is an evolutionary niche or a means to get power whereby it is adaptive to hate your own group. And then the other thing is that if you are individually oriented and you are jealous and you are you're resentful, you feel you should have more power than you have, you're narcissistic, you're entitled, you think you deserve to be at the top. Well, of course, you're going to be resentful against all of the symbols of power, all of the things that are associated with power, all of the structures of power. So you're going to want to tear those down. And so that's why you get this loathing on the left or anything that's traditional, because that which is traditional is symbolic of power. It's a power that you don't have. It's symbolic of a group of people that you're not part of, that you want to be part of. And so resentment makes you want to tear all that down. And also, if you do that, then you create a sense of chaos. You unanchor people from traditions which make sense of their lives, and in that kind of chaos, it's easier to sort of take power. So you can see that for some people there is something adaptive for them as individuals to hate their own nation, and then if they make other people do the same, then they take away from those people things which make sense of their lives, things which anchor them and connect them to the past, and those people are therefore looking for something else, looking for something new, and the revolution can be that new thing, and they can be inculcated with that, and they can be made to follow you.